Hey folks, I'm Dave Isaacs, and this is going to be let's call this a quick and dirty video, and maybe it's appropriate. Just learned about an hour ago that Eddie Van Halen passed away, and so this is absolutely fresh in my mind. I was getting started on a video for something else, and then I got that news, and I thought, oh God, well I have to shift gears here. And I'm late getting this video up, so this is a quick approximation. I always say that I am never swearing to having it 100%. This is a song that I learned when I was 14 years old, and I went back and took another look at it just now. I watched a couple of lesson videos to see what people were thinking. I think I picked up some insight, and hopefully I can communicate that to you. The song I want to look at is Ain't Talkin Bout Love. It's one of my favorites, and out of all the Van Halen riffs, it's one of the easier ones to play. However, it requires some control in this hand, as it all does, to get that intro right. What we're going to do is start with an A minor. I should mention, I'm approximating the tone here just for fun. I've got a phase shifter and a delay and some distortion and compression on this guitar tone. I am not going to get into a discussion of how to imitate his sound. There are lots of videos for that. This is simply about playing the notes and getting the vibe. But it is cool to have that tone in there. So I'm starting with an A minor, palm muting, and picking string 5, 4, 2, 3. That's melody. Then open E string, flatten the index, first fret, same string, second string, first fret, third string, second fret, middle finger. This is an F triad. Or at least leading into an F triad, because this is all A minor. And then F. Now, very possible that Van Halen used the ring finger and flattened it out like this. My tendency with this chord is to use... I'm not going to tell you I have a strong preference. If you are more comfortable, I am not going to argue with Van Halen, and it seems to me it's likely that is how he fingered it. I do find it's a little clunky for me. Personally, I do prefer using the two fingers because I like to be a bit more precise and have a little more control over what I'm doing. So it's just a G chord, pinky, string 1 fret 3, ring, string 2 fret 3, middle, string 6 fret 3. And then move that middle finger over to the 3rd fret of the A string, and we have this riff, which is going to come up again and again. 3, 2, 3. I'm fingering this with index and middle on frets 2 and 3 of the A string. 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Here I'll do the flattened out ring finger on the G. Nothing wrong with it. Fact is, for me, that's more work because I have to remember to do it and I don't actually gain anything fingering-wise. Anyway, that's what works best for me. There are always, or not always, there are very, very frequently different options that will work, and it doesn't necessarily make one way right or wrong unless you're very, very, very specifically trying to imitate somebody's fingering. There is often a tonal difference that made them choose to play it where they played it. But I'll talk about that relating to something else in a second. Main chorus, simple enough. This is the intro as well. A minor, just strum, bass strum, open E, and into the G chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the riff I hit that low E string. Then I hit it again, low E. That's relating to the riff we played before. Now, I don't have a whammy bar on this guitar. I don't generally use one. He plays a lick in this spot, though, at the top of the song, where he jumps to fret 5 of the G, hits the bar to strike it again, slide to 7, do it again, 9, do it again, 12, do it again. One finger. Now, I can play that by just striking each note twice. What he did was hit the whammy bar for the second strike. Wow, 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 wow. You could spend an awful lot of time working with Van Halen's whammy bar technique, and as I said, I don't really use one, so I am not the person to talk to about it. But you can make that lick work like this. You don't have a whole lot of time to get back down to that A minor, but you can get there. Now that, at the end of that intro, is another lick that does involve the whammy bar. I'm playing a double stop bend, fret 5 of the B string, fret 7 of the G, bent up a whole step. And then Eddie's hitting the bar, wah, wah, to articulate the second and third strikes on that chord, but I'm just going to bend. And it works. Here we go. Same chords in the verse. We're just going to palm mute the A minor once again. Hit 5, 4, 2, 3. Now just hit a double stop. First fret, second string, first string. And then up into this double stop, you could use the same finger. Again, I find the two fingers make it easier to control. So it's quieter. You don't dig into it so hard because the whole energy of the band has come down. So we're going to go like this. I'll go from the top of the verse and into the chorus. I'm not playing all of the whammy licks for reasons I've explained before. So from the verse, 1, 2, 3, 4. Palm muted, except. So here's the verse, 1, 2, 3, 4. Chorus. Now, I'll give you my approximation of the solo here, keeping it relatively simple. This is one of my favorite Van Halen solos because it's relatively simple, very musically clear, and it's played basically on 2 strings. What we're going to do is slide everything on the B string, and while we're doing that, we're going to include an open E. So the slide is 5, 8, 10, 12. Listen to that, including the E. You can, there's a variety of ways to do this. This is something I saw somebody doing in a lesson video, and it makes sense to me. Again, I didn't do extensive research on this because I played the song years ago. Just heard about Eddie's passing, and I had to do this now. So, grain of salt. I'll qualify everything I say, but I always do. it makes a lot of sense to drag a finger behind to make sure that you are not getting all kinds of extraneous sound from open strings. So, when you're trying to do this sort of thing, when you're controlling the sound of resonating strings, there is muting involved because I need to make sure I'm not hearing these ringing, and I'm also trying to keep the right hand from making a lot of racket either. So I just want to hear... So I just want to hear the two strings. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So, up to speed. 1, 2, 3. I'll get that tabbed out for you. You can check it out below. I want to just point out that whether you drag a finger... I just want to point out, and I want to point out when you're sliding a finger along one string like this, we have to be mindful of, number one, making sure the note's going to keep sustaining, so that means I need to get up a little bit more on the fingertip than I ordinarily would. And you might find it helpful to drag a finger behind. And I find it most helpful to mute with my picking hand, so I've got basically the meat of the bass of my palm sitting on the bass strings and really going as far as the third. I want to make sure that we're only hearing. I won't swear 100% to that last lick, but you get the idea. The tab is in the description. Please check it out. And as always, I'll give you my qualifiers, but I think this is the main idea of the song. As I also said, it's a quick and dirty, but let's call this an homage to one of the greatest rock guitar players that ever was, Eddie Van Halen. And so here is intro, verse, chorus, solo of Ain't Talkin Bout Love. So that was me having fun as much as it was a demonstration. But, you know, it should tell you something about how exciting it can be to dig back into a song that you haven't touched since you were a teenager. And There's some other details worth getting into there. If you really want to play Van Halen's music, you need to get into There's some more details to get into there. If you really want to play Van Halen's music right, you also have to get into the subtleties of the rhythm section and understand how that band worked together and just how well those three musicians worked together in that first power trio plus singer lineup of the original lineup of Van Halen. And there's a great deal of creativity and variation, and the songs are never all that simple. Van Halen said that this song was written making fun of punks. Or maybe it was David Lee Roth that said it. One of them said it. But it's not really a simple song. It's just a fairly straightforward one. There is more going on than I've talked about here. But as always, my intent is to scratch the surface and just give you an idea of what's going on. Hope you enjoyed this lesson. It is a sad day. Rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. It is a sad day. Rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. And thank you guys for watching.